There we go. It would help if I unmuted my mic. Hello everyone! It's time for another live stream of exposing CRs from D&D 5th edition with me, Andrew, and you, whoever's here. So far it's just me and Clorox, I think. Anyways. So, updates. What's going on with the channel? A lot of stuff is going on. We're almost about to hit 3,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool. Things are moving along nice and quick. I think a lot of it has to do with the Monster vs. Monsters and the Battle Tactics videos, which is a bit of a departure from what this channel originally started out as, but hey, works for me. I am enjoying all the new content, and if this is where it's going to transition to, perfect. I'll work with that too. Clawpaw, hey buddy. I wasn't sure if you were going to make tonight's episode or not, or maybe that was for the Monster vs. Monster live stream, but anyway, in any event, thank you for being here as always, bud. And yeah, so what's new with the channel? Right now I am currently working on a super secret section of the tool here, this black void. Yeah, the black void here is pretty fun. Oh yeah, for sure. Taking the changes in stride. Yeah, I'll show you a little hint of what this black void is. I'm sure anyone can guess by now where it's located. But ooh, look at that, CR50. Yeah, gonna go to CR50 if we need to. But primarily, we probably shouldn't be creating monsters that are CR50. Anyways, little sneak peek as to what's going on. The math is done, and what is fun is I have a link over here to the extended chart of what I've done to kind of recreate the math here, and I studied the changes and whatnot, so it was pretty interesting to make my own, you know, educated guesses as to how to get to CR50 based off of the numbers and the patterns that I noticed from 1 to 30, and I exclude 0 through 1/2 because the numbers are all just all over the place here. So I started basically from 1 to 30 and inspected that. So when I'm ready to show this off, I will show the extended chart off and the math that I did as well. Oh, you get a little bit of a hint there. You can see kind of what I've done right there. But anyways, yeah, so that's that. The math is done. Now I'm just doing the back end programming and making some pretty big changes. Don't make me convert the neutronium golem. It will shatter your extended calculator. Oh dear. 50 was hard enough to get to. Going to like 100 would be obscene. I don't, you know, considering that our the gods of D&D are maxing out at 30. Oh boy. I mean, as we saw before with my educated guest, Tiamat herself was somewhere in the 40s, I believe. Yeah, technically I don't think anything should be going over CR50 in D&D 5e. Extended editions or other editions of D&D, maybe. We'll see what happens. But anyways, yeah, that's what's new. Plenty of other stuff going on in my life that's, you know, here and there and all sorts of other things. So, but channel related, oh yeah, I also told my other D&D group about my live stream idea, which is still in the works. It's still on the back burner. It's just finally some stuff at work is moving along, and I'll be able to focus more time on getting ready for the live stream. So all of my people that I am hoping are willing to play are notified, and then I will go from there. Its estimated CR is 500 to 1,000. What? Oh man, that is stupid. Holy cow! Wow. Okay. So now that we've basically covered all this nonsense, and I was actually, that's what this crazy discrepancy is here of like all this. I was testing some back end things. I'm changing the way some math is done in the back end and trying to make it cleaner and clearer to myself because I made it so long ago. Yeah, this was just for testing. So let's get rid of that and go forward. I said, let's get rid of that. Oh, here we go again. Why is that not moving back? Why is that stuck? Let's see here. Reset again. All right, let's put in some numbers and see if anything changes. Okay, there's that. And the hit points, we'll do 10 there. Okay. That's fixed, kind of. That happens every once in a while. I don't know why. But there we go. Now everything's back to normal. Anyways, first up on the CR block is the Berserker Apotheosis from Clawpaw. Clawpaw was the first one to get in some requests today, so we'll be looking at their monsters first. We'll start with the Berserker, and then we will switch to Clorox's monster for Kaz, his homebrew converted, or their homebrew conversion. And then we'll switch back, if we have time, to the other one that Clawpaw had thrown up on the Discord. And if anyone wants to join the Discord, here is this week's code for Discord. I feel like one of those special announcers is like, hey, you know, come back, check back every week for the special code, and you too can join. Oh, generic soldier of Castle Apotheosis. Okay, cool. Alright, message is pinned, so anyone wanting to join the Discord, it's there. And you have 7 days now to join up with the Discord. To discourage, you know, bots and people that don't really care about the channel. Just want to cause mayhem or whatnot. Anyways, new guy. Hey, it's a new guy, everyone. Welcome for joining. Welcome to joining the live stream. Thanks for stopping by. Good evening to you as well. We are looking at Clawpaw's Berserker here, and we are just about to jump right in. So, let's get right into it. We have ourselves a Berserker, medium humanoid, any race, lawful neutral, with the following AC of 17, bone unarmored armor. Okay. Is the new guy, yes. And we have 100 D8. Wow. All right, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, I see, it's a CR 30. Okay. We have 30 strength, 25 dex, 29 constitution, 16 intellect, 18 wisdom, and 20 charisma. Not bad. Should be a CR 30, and yeah, looks like it's already broken. What happened here? Oh no. I think I might have to grab one of my backup copies, because everything I've been doing in the back end is messing everything up, it looks. All right, let me be right back. I'm gonna grab a new a backup copy, and we will get into this. I had a feeling this was gonna happen. Anyways, good to know though. Jade Gorton, hello, welcome aboard. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, I need to get back to my Google Drive. And then I needed that one, I think. Or no, yeah, that one should work. Oh no, that's not that right one. That's the standard edition. I need the, where's my deluxe edition? Oh, anyways, all right. So this is what I'll do here. Let's see here. That. And then that. Hopefully. Huh. No, you didn't break it, Clawpaw. I broke my tool by doing something. Oh, I know what I can do. You know what? Let's go back to mine. And I will do something quick. I'll put the old values, the old information back in, and that should fix the problem. Sorry about this, folks. Should have made a backup of my backups before making any changes. Did not find value 1350 in VLOOKUP evaluation. Okay, so let me grab that and move that out. Grab that, move that out, and then put the old stuff back in. Okay, and grab, grab that, and then put that in there. Okay, let's see here. Let's go back to that sheet. Okay, that should be working now. By the way, my biggest concern will be Italian, but you figure something out. Okay, I will do what I can. DCR says it should be at 29. All right, let me go through this. My stuff is a little broken at the moment. We'll see what happens. At least it's not, you know, there's no errors now, so we'll see what happens and go forward from there. Oh boy. Okay, we got all of our proper items in here. Oh, I see. That's the problem. Way over top. Okay, so yeah, that should be there, but then my top, that's odd. Why is it saying that? Conditional formatting. Oh, it's completely missing. Somehow that completely disappeared. Oh, I know how that disappeared. A lot of these disappeared by accident. Okay. Right. All right, so there's a bunch of changes that I made to this section here when I was fiddling with something in here, and I destroyed a whole bunch of spots here. So there's going to be some fixes and stuff that are happening as I'm making changes, unfortunately. So my portion of the tool isn't exactly working properly, but anyone that happens to back me on Patreon, their tools are working perfectly fine. All right, let's carry on, because right now we are at a DCR 29. We'll see what happens once we get everything else into place here. So we have a saving throws of 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 saves. We can throw those in. No. The hit points are fine because that's working properly. So the problem is that at the moment, the tool was seeing that the AC should have been at 29, but because my conditional formatting is gone for that section right now, it's just not showing up. But as we see here now, it's bumped all the way to 30 and it's perfectly fine. So you don't have to worry about reducing hit points or anything because it knows anything that goes over 850 is too high. So we don't need to worry about that. Okay, let's see here. What is next? Let's see. We got our saving throws in. We have some skills. We have damage resistances that don't matter because at CR 30, players should be easily able to bypass these, but we have slashing, bludgeoning, piercing, thunder, lightning, psychic, and acid. Now the slashing, bludgeoning, and piercing are interesting because these are just in general. There's no way to bypass this since it's saying, you know, these are all going to work regardless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the current hit points of 1350 and actually add in 25%. We'll give an extra 25% for resistances. Actually, we'll just do it as immunities because I'm looking to get that anyways. Because normally we wouldn't have anything for resistances that high. Normally it just goes to 1.5, but I'll use immunities just for the sake of, you know, damage resistances as well, cutting the damage down. I would hope so for a level 20 team. We'll see how it works out. So with that, you know, with that under consideration that all of these can't be bypassed through magical means, and of course we have thunder, lightning, psychic, and acid already that are magical, that cuts down on a lot of other potential magics that you could use. You know, we could do cold or fire. Generally speaking, fire is going to show up pretty often. Generic soldier of castle apotheosis, yes. So yeah, I'm going to take these into consideration. Normally I wouldn't for resistances. So then next we have legendary resistance times 4. All right, simple enough. We'll go in here and put in 4 uses of that for an extra 120 effective hit points. Then we have reckless at the start of the turn. The berserker can gain advantage, but everything else has advantage on that turn. And if you've ever looked in the DMG for custom monsters, reckless actually has no effect. So for no effect, you know, for reckless, we will just bypass this altogether because giving advantage to both sides basically cancels out the effectiveness of it because everyone's at the same playing field then. So now we have Talion. When the berserker suffers any damage from melee attacks, the creature or object dealing the damage takes the same amount of damage the berserker The Berserker suffers. Okay, there we go. We could... The first thing that jumps out to me is damage transfer from the Cloaker. Because while the... let's see here. Oh, come on. Work with me here. Alright, so where are we here? Cloaker. While attached or grappling a creature, the creature takes only half damage dealt to it, rounded down. And the other creature takes the other half. So in theory, we can look at the damage transfer of Cloaker here. And what does that do? Well, it gives us, you know, an extra 1350 hit points. Plus, I can't even see it. Let's see here. Plus an extra 450 DPR. So let's see here. When the Berserker suffers any damage from melee attacks, the creature or object dealing the damage takes the same amount of damage back that the damage of the Berserker suffers. Yeah, exactly. So he deals 25, they both take 25. Now, this one is interesting because that would basically double the hit points, double the base hit points, and then reflect the amount. We're doing like a quarter of the damage back, I believe. If I look at it here. Oh, a third of the damage. Okay. Let's see here. B24. Oh, right. A third of the hit points back. Yeah. That one's a tricky one. I want to say something along the lines of the Cloaker's effectiveness here as well. So what I might do is I'll take the 450, since we're not really transferring the damage, but we are creating extra DPR. I would say let's just take a third of that as, like with the Cloaker here, take the 450 and add it as DPR, because that's the only thing that seems to make sense to me. So we're gonna say 450 DPR for Talion. Yeah, that's bonkers. So we're immediately shunted up to a CR 30 for the OCR section as well. So we'll see what happens when we go on from there. And then we have Holy Aegis. The Berserker halves range damage. So that would include magical, since we're not excluding melee from this. So it is both melee and magical in this position here. Holy Aegis, Berserker. I would almost say, what would I want to do for that one? I would say something to the effect of, shoot, I can't think of the trait I'm thinking of here. I don't want to say it's legendary resistance. How did I do it before? Oh, yeah, it would be. Yeah, it's basically the same for. Wow, yeah, because the range damage is coming in. So if someone's shooting an arrow, already they have piercing resistance, and then on top of that, they're having the range damage as well from like an arrow being shot, or maybe from some kind of magical attack that deals lightning damage or something. So then that goes down to even a quarter health, which is bonkers. So at the moment, I'm going to skip past that one, but I would think that, you know, depending on if there are any ranged characters, of course there will be some. It's hard to say how much we're having that, and considering Talion and how much we have from there too, I'm not quite sure. Oh, okay. That would be called counter, but I love the German version of this broken enemy fire emblem skill. Because Talion is the old homebrew law of eye for an eye. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I might say maybe bring up this from like 1.25 to maybe like a third. So let's get rid of immunities. And instead, we're going to take the 1350 and times that by 33%. And we'll add that on here. So let's see here. We'll take this. Oh, that's DPR. Never mind. I'm going to go here. And I'm going to say equals. And we'll do round down. 1350 times 1/3. Oh, look at that. We're getting an additional 450 hit points instead for having immunities to all melee, and then now also, well, just having resistance to everything in general, but also then having resistance to ranged damage as well. So we're getting double resistance there, which is like 75% roughly. Anyways, let's move into the ranged attacks here and get a final value of, or the attacks and get a final value here. So we have multi-attacks. The Berserker makes 4 attacks, and those attacks are at, let's see here, 19 or 16. We'll just go with the Tomahawk for 19, making things simple. And right away, we are just shunted into CR30 for sure. We'll have to see what our actual value might be in a little bit here. Okay. So the Tomahawk, melee weapon, 19 to hit, reach 10 foot, can be also thrown, 1 target, 75 points of damage. So let's just go up to here. We'll take the 10d12. Jeez. Okay. And we're going to be adding in the strength for 75 points of damage. Perfect. And we will just pop that in place. So 75 there. I'm not really worried about the short bow, considering we can also throw the Tomahawk. So more than likely that will be done as it is. Who knows? I mean, I guess since it is a Tomahawk, it's a smaller weapon, so... Yeah, okay, so it does stack. Thank you, Cawpaw. Yes, exactly. Times 4. So 4 attacks at 75 each would be 4 Tomahawk attacks. And we're looking at 300 damage per round. Oh man, on average. This is obscene. Okay, we have a bonus action. Oh, a great axe. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So for a bonus action, we have aggressive. As a bonus action, the Berserker can move up to its own speed towards a hostile creature you can see. I love these. This one, especially for CR30, we're going to give it aggressive. 2. 2 extra DPR. That's ridiculous. They needed to upscale that one. Oh, okay. And more of a name thing. Gotcha. And then we have legendary actions. We can do 3 actions, and we can either do an attack or move. I think that's it. So we can take 1 Tomahawk attack or short bow attack or move up to its speed. So since we move up to its speed, but this doesn't stop opportunity attacks unless something got cut off here, I'm not going to bother with moves at all, and we will take 3 more Tomahawk attacks of times 3 for 225, and then we will easily we'll just add these together here. So we'll take the 300 plus the 225 for 525, and then multiply that times 3 rounds of combat for 1575. Yeah, exactly. If you don't respect the aggressive. That's I mean, this is a big boy, chunky hitter, man. Oof. All right, so clearly, without having to go look at the top here, we're already capped out at CR30. But here's the fun part: we're looking at 1920 for the effective hit points, and an effective DPR of 977 because of the damage transfer from the idea of the damage transfer from the Italian it was. So that's just a loose idea. Let me get some actual numbers here and see where this is going. Now I'm going to, I want to copy the link. I'm going to take this off screen because it's a secret. And I will look at this on the side here. And then we will potentially get some actual ideas going here of what we have for numbers. All right, so we have 1920, and with my new chart, 1920 DPR up here should equal, ooh, look at that. Your 1920 actually goes off my chart. It goes beyond CR50 with that chart. But I can easily potentially get that and see what that might be at for 1950 CR here. So let's see here. I'm going to take my calculator off screen. Yeah, oh, exactly. Yep. 1076 plus that number. All right. So we're looking for 1920. Shoot, hold on. I counted. I got to start over again, I think. Wait. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So in theory, we're looking at an OCR of 56 here. And that's not including the attack bonus of 19. At that level, what would the attack bonus be? The attack bonus would probably be, probably under, actually. So we would come down from the 56 a little bit. And from what I have on my chart here, I would be expecting that number. At that much further, it would probably be probably a -2. So we're probably looking at about an OCR 54 at the moment for this character with the Italian ability. And then for hit points, let's see here. For hit points, we have, oh no, excuse me. I'm sorry. That was the wrong idea. 1920. 1920. Oh, I do have numbers for 1920. There we go. 1920 would actually be a DCR 44. Okay, my bad. Sorry about that. I was looking at the wrong areas here. And we have an AC of 19. And that would be probably, what would I say, 44? That'll be 1 under. So there's going to be no change to the DCR here with 1950 hit points or 1920. Now we have an average DPR of 977. And that's going to be an OCR 49, which looks like it would be expecting 20, and that's a 19, so there's no difference there. So we're looking at, what did I say, 49? Okay, not bad. So with my extended chart and the values off screen, we're looking at a potential, let's see here, average, that, and that for 46.5. So we're probably looking at actually a CR 47 Clawpaw. Clorox, side note, when you get to Kaz, I'm going to suggest dropping his hit dice to 25 or 26 with his regen. I think DCR is going to be too high. Okay, I will keep that in mind, Clorox. So there you go, Clorox, or excuse me, Clawpaw. Your Berserker here, with the loose idea of Talion working similar to the damage transfer of a Cloaker, which, considering it's 1-for-1, and with no, it still basically does about the same, or maybe it does more. The OCR may be even higher for the Berserker, but right now I'm giving this a loose CR 47 based off of my extended chart and some of the values I've created there. There you go, Clawpaw. Thanks, buddy. I love these, man. These are so much fun looking at these. The massiveness of this monster is wild. My very balanced generic soldier berserker with CR 47. Perfect. And you said how many players? Let's just look at a quick encounter build here. How many players were you you have at you were expecting level 20? What was it? I think you normally have 6 players, Clawpaw? It's at 6 players. This technically would be an easy battle. Maybe 6. Okay, so 6 players. We'll go with 5 too. 5. All right, so 5 players at level 20. Those all convert to CR 20. And when we take those 5 players converted to CR 20, that will give us 100 points of CR to work with. At the calculated CR or monster of 47, we have 53 left over before we get to deadly. And technically, for 5 players at level 20, this will probably be an easy combat if it's 5-on-1. So, allegedly, you could still throw in 53 points of CR monsters, like, you know, another, you could throw in, what, 2 26s? 2 CR 26 monsters, and have yourself a hard battle. And then you can have 5 versus 3. Oh, of course. No. All right, so if we take, let's see here. We could take 2 of these guys. 2 Berserkers at 47 gives us 94. And then you could throw in a CR6. Or however you want to do this. But yeah, I love this table. It's fun. And throws in some bonkers stuff here. But with 47, this would probably want to be your main monster. And then you would want, I would say, at least 4 more monsters at some kind of value. Would say CR 12, 13. Yeah, you could go with like CR 13, get yourself 5 on 5, and have a interesting battle. Needless to say, I mean, at CR 20, technically, or yeah, player level CR 20, the lowest CR you would want is 16 in theory, but obviously it's at level 20, the highest could be anything. This is just a recommendation based off of Pathfinder 2nd edition of a plus -4 in that range. All right, let's get to Kaz now that we've taken some time to look at Clawpaw's chunky berserker here. This is like Wolverine from the X-Men level berserker, in my opinion. And take a look at Kaz, the bloody-handed paladin that was supposed to be working with Vecna before Vecna's ascension, and Kaz betrays Vecna at some point in the storyline. Okay, so we have the tool reset. I have a cat staring at me, so give me 2 seconds to let my cat in, and then we will continue on. Come on, pumpkin. Dropping. All right. You know, it figures. The stream's connected by lore. It figures. My cat. We have a cat door in our window in our bedroom to let him out, in and out. And of course, he goes. I left him in the bedroom. He went out the window, hung out on the roof for a bit, did whatever, went back up onto the roof, and then didn't want to go back into the bedroom. Whatever. Anyways. Let's see here. Where can you get those tables you used? The ones here in the live stream, Jade? This is actually something I've used. This particular table here, yeah, this whole chart section I've created myself. There's a free version that you can, or not, I shouldn't say free, but a community version that you can use. I link it in every video, except for like the battle tactics. I think the battle tactics may not have it, but in the description of every video, there's a link to the community version that you can use this to verify your own custom monsters and whatnot. And then I also have a Patreon where if you want your own personal copy or the deluxe edition, which you're seeing here, you can check that one out if you have the money to donate and you'd like your own personal copy of this. All right, Clorox. Wow. All right, Clorox. I really love the story of Kaz and Vecna. It's made Kaz one of my favorite anti-hero type NPCs to use, and he actually ascended to godhood in my version of the Forgotten Realms. Nice. You have to know, Jade, he is a nerd. Of course I'm a nerd, big time. Someone that takes their love of math and D&D and combined it together to bring you this thing here. This monster of a chart here. Okay, back to Kaz, the Bloody-Handed. Let's take a look at this and see what we get here. So we have a AC 20, medium undead paladin, so we'll leave that there. At the moment, we're going to stick with 30, and then we'll adjust to 25 or 26 later on as per Clorox's suggestion. And then we have, let's see, what was it? Constitution bonus of 22. Should be CR 25. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 saving throws. So we will get a +2 modification there. We have resistance to necrotic, but we have immunities to poison, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical attacks. So we will throw that in for now and then come back and check that in a little bit. And then from there, we can skip over the rest of that and we go into legendary resistances. We have 3 uses here. And let's see here. That will give us an extra 90 effective hit points. And then Spider Climb doesn't affect us. Elder Evil. When Kaz is slain, his body and everything he is carrying vanishes in a cloud of black smoke. The body of Kaz immediately appears in his coffin, which, if removed, vanishes and reappears in the coffin within 1 hour. Over the course of 24 hours, while his body remains in the coffin, Kaz is restored to unlife at his hit point maximum. If Kaz's head is removed by a silver blade, his heart pierced by a wooden stake, and it remains immersed in holy water, the effects end and Kaz is permanently destroyed. Alright, so we don't have anything to worry about here, it's just a whole bunch of flavor. And as we know, flavor is free. Apex Vampirism. Kaz was transformed into a vampire through unique means. This grants him the following benefits and immunity to typical vampire weaknesses. Regeneration, 20 hit points, as long as he has 1 hit point. So we will go ahead and throw in regeneration of 20. Ooh, a Vampire Paladin. See, I don't know anything about Kaz, so this is cool to read up on this. And a Vampire Paladin is pretty awesome. Heightened Reflexes. Kaz can't be surprised, has advantage on initiative checks, adds 1d12 to the result of his initiative checks, and creatures gain no benefit from flanking him. Wow, okay. I like that. Initiative on advantage doesn't really do anything for the CR, as well as the d12, nor anything from flanking. So, well, actually, we could say maybe with the heightened reflexes, we could throw in a little bit of an AC bonus, maybe? Because that means no one's getting advantage on him, so we could potentially say maybe a +1 AC bonus here, since he can't be flanked. I love me some good Vampire Paladins. They're just too cool. That's for sure, Clawpaw. I will agree with you on that. I'm going to say +1 AC bonus there for the heightened reflexes, because since we can't flank him, there's no way to get advantage on him unless you go into the shadows. And flanking is going to be one of the easiest ways to get a bonus there for attack bonuses and rolling extra dice. So we will say +1 AC bonus for that at least, because we never know if Kaz will be flanked, and if he is, for how long. Doesn't really matter in this case. Now we have Martial Mastery. Once per turn, whenever Kaz successfully hits a creature with a weapon attack, he can choose to deal an extra 9 damage of the attack's type and causes one of the following effects. Knock the target prone, knock a weapon of Kaz's choice out of the target's hand, and kick it 35 feet away, or push the target 15 feet back. Okay. Knock a weapon out of the choice. That's handy. Could reduce the person's effectiveness and damage. Although we don't know how much damage they could be doing with that weapon. Pushing a character back 15 feet would help with, not dealing opportunity attacks. But the one that's interesting is the knocking the target prone. I like that. And since we probably have a whole bunch of attacks we can do here, 4 at least, that could help getting a bonus to, getting us attack bonuses here. And because the first attack would need to be done and knock the person prone, first off, we're going to get that 9 extra damage. So we'll go in here to the damage section and add in 9. So every round we're expecting at least 9 extra damage there. And then we can knock a person prone. Now, because we're knocking prone and we can follow up with 3 more attacks of, let's see here, there's a bite, a shield, the bastard sword, and he can replace any number of shield or sword attacks with his claws. We can say for sure we're going to get 3 out of 4 attacks with advantage. And I'm going to say probably +2 attack bonus there, since, we don't know how often we will have a prone target. The prone's not going to last very long, so we can't guarantee it. I'm going to say +2 there. We can't guarantee it for very long anyways. And then we have Overwhelming Strength. Kaz deals an extra die of damage when he hits with a melee weapon, which is included. All right. He scores a critical on 18 to 20. So we will update our critical here and make sure to add that in. And then what else? Deals 3 damage dice instead of 2. Okay. So we will go to 3 there. And then finally, let's see here. In addition, Kaz had advantage on strength athletics checks, and he has long jump and vertical distances of that, and attacks are considered magical. All right, so we will definitely have to remember to add in damage here for the critical bonuses, and we will then move on. All right, we have multi-attack. Kaz uses his horrifying howl, then makes 4 attacks: 1 with his bite, 1 with his shield, and 1 with his bastard sword. Kaz can replace any number of shield or sword attacks with claw attacks. I would say here, Clorox, just to update where the 4th attack is coming from. I'm guessing 1 attack is claws? I could make a living. Make a living on what, Jade? I'm just curious. Yeah, Clorox. So for your 4 attacks, right now you're... Oh, okay. Should be 2 with a sword. Thank you. All right. Okay, so we have 1 bite, 1 sword, and 2 sword, or 1 shield and 2 sword, and all that is plus 14 to hit. Excellent. So we'll add that 14 into the hit there, and then we have a bite. So the bite is going to be doing a lot of stuff here because it's a vampire. So we have. Oh, I gotcha. A living avalanche as environmental hazard monster. Should I make it and then get it reevaluated? Yeah, if you'd like. You know, I'm always welcome to look at anyone's monsters here on the live stream. So if you're interested to have some stuff looked at that you've created, by all means, stop by next week and we can take a look at it and go over it. The claws bit is especially so he can still attack while he in his different forms. Gotcha. Okay. All right, so the bite is, let's see here. Going back to this, we have 15 piercing and then loses 22. All right, if the creature is living, it loses 22 hit points, and Kaz regains the same number of hit points. All right, so we're going to do 22 there. And then let's see here. If this loss of hit points, it loses 22 hit points. Okay, so yeah, that's the effective damage. Reduce the total to 0. The target dies, rise to vampire spawn. Finally, the target is under the effects. Okay. I get what you're going here with this one, Clocks. It's very similar to other vampires here. Usually, it would be necrotic damage and then also hit point reduction from that necrotic damage. Is that what you meant to do there, Clorox? With the bite? Because at the moment, I will leave that there. For the shield, we have, let's see here, 11 bludgeoning damage. It can be knocked prone, constitution save, or be stunned until the end of Kaz's next turn. Okay. Well, we know how the stun works. I'm going to give 9 effective hit points there for that. Because it's a stun, only lasts 1 turn. Oops. Okay. We're going to throw this in here because we're going to be adding in, let's see here, the 22 damage from the bite, plus another 9 effective hit points for stunning a creature, which will give us a total of 31 extra hit points there. Oh, as an enemy, I like the idea of treating environment hazards as a combat encounter using similar rules. Yeah, I just saw a little while ago someone had me look at the a living spell, which I thought was an amazing idea. So yeah, those are really fun ideas, and even making an environment would be pretty fun. I personally think that things like dealing necrotic damage is dumb for emulating blood loss. The loss of the hit points is basically just untyped damage, so it can be resisted. Okay. No problem, Jade. Okay, so then alright, so I see what you're saying there. So we will just be adding in the 22 hit point damage as well as it drains the blood, and Kaz gets that back. Okay. The Bastard Sword. That sword is dealing 17 damage plus an additional necrotic of 18. And then we have the claw attack of 13 plus 9. Skip that. We have Horrifying Howl. Kaz lets out a terrifying war cry. Each creature 120 feet of him can't be immune and to the frightened and must make a wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed. Okay. Let's see. All right, so let me read this. Each creature within 120 feet of Kaz that can hear him can't be immune to the frightened condition and must make a wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for 1 minute. An affected creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. Okay, so paralyzed does what again? Paralyzed creature is incapacitated. So incapacitating is the same as before. That would be 11, but since we can affect multiple creatures, we'll deal 14 and possibly paralyzing 2, giving us an additional 35 effective hit points. All right, easy enough there for that. For the Howl, since we can use that and it's not the frightened condition. Group Howl starts in 15 minutes. Okay. And then we have Flaying Whirlwind. Flaying Whirlwind, recharge, 5 to 6. Kaz spins in pirouettes in circle, deftly swinging his swords and around at those around him. Each creature in 10 feet of Kaz makes a Dex saving throw, taking 33 slashing damage plus 28 necrotic damage, and be unable to regain hit points until the end of Kaz's next turn. Okay, I can see ways of getting potentially 2, maybe 3. Because it's only 10 feet, this is a tricky one to consider. And I would say probably only one save's worth of damage. I mean, with 2 people, we would expect only 1. So I'm not going to double the Flaying Whirlwind since we only have 10 feet here. And we'll go with that. Yeah, see, here we go again. I was having some weird issues because of how I copied and moved things down. Apparently, we have 42 popping in here for some reason. All right, so the Whirlwind, I'm going to say we're only going to see like 1 damage worth of that. So 28 plus 33 here. Okay, and half as much, suffering no detrimental effects. Unable to regain. Okay, cool. So we're going to say 61 for the Flaying Whirlwinds since it's only a 10-foot reach on that. Then we have a bonus action of Dread Smite, as Kaz empowers his next attack with Dreadful Power. The next attack Kaz hits deals an extra 18 necrotic damage. If the target is a living creature, it must make a wisdom save or become frightened. Frightened doesn't really do anything for us here, so I don't have to worry about that. While frightened in this manner, an affected creature's movement speed is reduced to 0, takes 10 psychic damage at the start of each of its turns, and an affected creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success. And then we can also do a shape change. So I'm not going to worry about the shape change. I will consider every attack being used with the Dread Smite. So bonus action Dread Smite. What are we looking at here? I would say probably 2 rounds of this psychic damage similar to Swallow. And probably on 1 target. So I'm only going to give 1 target to this. I'm going to throw it into the Swallow here. And I'm going to say 10 there. And then on top of that, we're going to add in extra damage from the bonus attacks. So I don't have to worry about adding those in. And that would be, what was it, 18? Okay, so we're getting extra 18 every attack bonus action thing. And then we have reactions. We have Siphoning Riposte. As a reaction to being hit with a melee attack, Kaz can lash out at the attacker making an attack with his Bastard Sword. On a hit, the target takes normal damage of the weapon attack, and Kaz regains a number of hit points equal to the damage dealt. And then we have Parry Spell. When Kaz is targeted by a spell or magical effect, he can attempt to parry away the effect. To do so, Kaz must make an attack roll. If the result of this is higher than the DC of the spell, Kaz is unaffected by the spell or effect and is deflected back to the caster. All right, I like that. That's cool. For the sake of being able to actually do anything with that, because we don't know the amounts of damage the parry spell could do, I'm going to go with Siphoning Riposte. What I should do is something like this is just average out every spell level from 1 to 9 in the future. So we have like a generic, okay, here you go. All spells, average is this damage, and go from there. Something to look forward to in the future. Siphoning Riposte. So this one is an easy one. Melee attack, Cash lashes out the attacker, making an attack back with his Bastard Sword. So we'll deal 1 extra round of attack with the reaction, and then we also regen that. And the sword was 35 damage? Yeah, because it was bite, shield, sword. Okay, so then we're looking at 35 damage there, and also regenning 35 damage. So plus 35, and hit points plus 35 again. All right. So that is everything. Let's take a look at what we're going to do on our attacks here. So we have our multi-attack, and what would be the clear objective? Well, let's see here. We have our shield, and I need to take a look at the Bastard Sword. Okay, so the Bastard Sword is just straight damage. We don't have to worry about one or two-handed there. We do probably want to keep the shield in because of the stunned condition, which is always super handy. And the claws just deals a little extra necrotic damage. So even though the shield does do more damage, or excuse me, the claw does more damage than the shield, the stun of an additional, you know, we're getting a little bit from the stun and also knocking prone. I like that. I'm going to keep that in play because I'm sure I've already accounted for that. So I'm just going to go with counting all that in and excluding the claws. So we have 1 bite. Let's see here. Okay, we didn't need to have anything like a grapple or anything to get the bite off, which is cool. 1 bite, 1 shield, and 2 sword attacks times 2. So we have that, and then we have the flaying whirlwind. Okay, so oh yeah, and then also the horrifying howl, which was, where was I putting that horrifying howl? Oh, I think I already accounted that one in because it doesn't do actual damage. It was the paralyzing stuff. Okay. So I'm actually not going to use the flaying whirlwind at all. And that's because our multi-attack does more damage than the flaying whirlwind does. If for some reason we can jump into a spot where we can hit the whole party, then I would consider using it. But because of its limitations, I mean, if we do hit 2, we're looking at what, 122 points of damage, possibly. But let's see what we're looking at right now. Okay, if we can't get good positioning with the flaying whirlwind because of the 10-foot reach, let's take a look at that first. With everything else going on here and our multi-attacks times 3, we're looking at CR 27, possibly with all the extra bonuses that I've thrown into place. But that's with immunities and whatnot. If we are able to actually get the positioning here, and we can use that flaying whirlwind on a bunch and get 2 failed saves worth of damage, then I would definitely go for the 122, and we're still at CR 27, which is perfectly fine. So that's not a big deal. So let me go back to the original with 3 sets of multi-attacks for every round of combat. And I'm for Jade and anyone else watching this, I'm not filling in the other 2 rounds here because I'm just taking the base damage for 1 round, multiplying it by 3 since we have no real variations here. And I could just do 118 on all 3 of these sections and would still come out to 118, as you can see here for the full attack. So now the next question is, since our damage immunities have the condition of from non-magical weapons, at this point, when we're fighting Kaz, who's a CR 25, let's see what happens when we bypass immunities. So if we can go past the immunities and just hit him for straight damage, we're looking at CR 26. Okay, so as I was warned ahead of time from Clorox, I should probably drop the hit dice from 30 to either 25 or 26. I'm going to go with 26. More than likely, this will bring us down to the 25. Let's see what happens. Perfect. Yeah, if we were to go to 25, we might have a slightly lower DCR. Nope, it doesn't matter. Okay, so 25, 26. Just for the fun of it, I would go with 26 to give us a base of 273 hit points here. And then with everything else going on, you know, we're looking at basically a soldier type here. You know, we're good at short-term tanking, and we're good at, you know, striking through either, well, he doesn't really have any ranged attacks, so we're good at striking and getting into melee combat and whatnot. We do have a climb speed, no flying speed, so that will give advantage to anyone that can fly at this point or have some kind of ranged attack to keep distance from Kaz. Okay. The CR you're talking about, Clorox? Oh, Elite Solo Soldier. Gotcha. Cool. I'm a soldier. Yeah, this is what I would consider a soldier. When it's even like this, and both the DCR and the OCR are even, or pretty close to even, normally I would call this versatile, but I don't really think that gives the good idea, like a really good idea. So definitely soldier is the type I would give this. And surprisingly enough, I've seen soldier classifications and a couple other references and whatnot. Okay. Well, as it goes, we have a few minutes left to 11 o'clock at night, and just not enough time to really get into anything else at the moment. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer anything at the moment. More than anything is open. Ask away, and we can finish up this live stream here with some Q&A if you'd like. Now that we've taken a look at Kaz, the bloody-handed, and our berserker from the Apotheosis castle. So that was themed off of Fire Emblem, which I love. Fire Emblem, such a good game series. I haven't played many of the new ones though, unfortunately. All right, let me stop clicking my tongue, and we'll switch over to this here. All right, so perfect. That means I can make the Sorcerer Apotheosis in a nicer stat block. Yeah, have you used Homebrewery at all, Clawpaw? Homebrewery from the, what is it? Let's see here. Naturalcrit.com, Homebrewery. This is where I do all of mine for standard, to make just regular stat blocks, unless you want to make them in D&D Beyond like Clorox does. The latest DLC of Fire Emblem Awakening Apotheosis, the hardest challenge in the Fire Emblem. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Homebrewery is nice. It's a lot of short-handed coding. They have a really good tutorial, and it's not that hard to follow along with the examples they give you to make stat blocks in their website. So I highly recommend it if you're looking for a nice place to make 5e monster stat blocks. There's also one other place, I don't recall the name of it, that you can do the same thing as the Homebrewery does from Natural Crit. And then, like I said before, you can also potentially create, cracked my back. You can also use D&D Beyond to make custom homebrews too, like Clorox has been doing. I don't know if that's a part of their subscription or if you can just do that on your own. Well, I guess if there's no Q&A or anything, we will call this an end to the night because I've got some chores to take care of and get my butt to bed. You're very welcome, Clawpaw. I'm getting tired. Anyways, so, as always, thanks everyone for stopping by and watching and talking with me while we looked at a bunch of homebrew monsters here on the D&D CR Exposed live stream YouTube channel. Thank you, as always, to Clawpaw, Clorox, and Jade Gorton. And I believe was there someone else that stopped by? New Guy, yes, and New Guy. Thank you all for hanging out and chatting with me tonight, this Friday night, as we looked at some monsters and got a little deeper into the what their CRs look like. And yes, great stream. Thank you. Hopefully, I will get the Monster vs. Monster going. I have one set up for the highly requested Dragons versus Giants, so that one's ready to go. I just need the time to do it, and I'm hoping I can do it Monday night. We'll see what happens. So, as always, thank you all for hanging out with me during the live stream. Anyone else that's watched the live stream to this point, you all are amazing. Yes, rock stars for sure, for sure. And this is me, Andrew, as always, asking the question: are your encounters even rated? Have a good night, everyone, and I will see you next time, whenever that is. Good night, everyone.